Hey guys, I'm Nalmish Games, and welcome to this devlog. For those new here, I am working on a game called The Larcenist, a GTA-like game set in Perth, Western Australia. It's been about 3 months since my last video, and the main thing driving me insane since the last devlog has been these guys. Before we get to that, let's go through the things I did while blissfully unaware of the development limbo that awaited me. A bit after the last devlog, I began to toy around with using height maps for terrain generation in Blender. I found this height map of Perth, so using Blender, I found a way to apply the height map to the terrain, causing the terrain to take the shape of the Perth metropolitan area. I then applied a screenshot from Google Maps to this, and I had a little preview as to how the map would look. In the final game, I will not use Google Map textures for the map. I will paint my own textures onto the map, as they are more high quality that way, and Google won't assassinate me for stealing their textures. I then decided to add a quick off-road part of the map in Unity. It didn't really matter that it was in a place that makes absolutely no sense, being in the middle of the CBD, as I knew that the Unity map is just a placeholder until I make a better map. The next thing I did was making cars bouncy. Before I did this, when I rammed a car full speed into a wall, it would just come to a complete stop. But after making the car bouncy, it recoils a bit off the wall, which mirrors reality a bit more. Obviously, it needs some adjusting, but I think it's better for now. After doing a bunch of work in spring cleaning the project, including cleaning up the wheel system script and the project files, my lack of drive and motivation slowly began to catch up to me, as I was gradually losing motivation to work on the game as the weeks went on, which I believe is why I was so slow these last couple months. I'll talk about the reason why I believe my motivation started dying after I discuss the rest of my progress. Anyway, as one of my favourite things to do in game development is add new features, I decided to start making a car dealership to gain back motivation. So, I modelled a simple building, but now I needed cars to populate it. As it was a luxury car dealership, I decided to make a very goofy Porsche model, and in my attempts at trying to get the Porsche to work as a drivable car, I began to realise that I needed to change the way the people worked in my game.
And thus, my descent into madness began.
At this point, NPCs were completely separate to the player, deriving from a separate prefab and having separate scripts. This caused multiple issues. One of these issues include having to check for either a player or an NPC script when I had to get a simple value from a person, causing all of these unnecessary sloppy if statements. Another annoying issue with this system was that whenever I updated the NPC, I had to manually do the same for the player. To help unify the NPCs and the player, I created a new script called Humanoid, which I filled up with all of the variables and functions that are the same between both the NPC and the player script. Then, I made the player derive from the NPC, so whenever I want to change how something on a person works, I just change the NPC template, and it auto-updates on the player. During this unifying of NPCs and the player, I noticed how messy my car system was. In short, the way car seats worked was that they had two separate scripts, a script for handling NPCs and a script for handling the player. I have come to regret my decision in making the seat system like this, as it introduces huge levels of jank, some of which include having to always check both seats when I want to check if someone is occupying the seat, having one seat system be on the car object and one be on the seat model, and the huge problem of having to individually update both scripts when making a change. Basically, this system had to be replaced as soon as possible, as it will be 100 times more painful to change later in development when I have built everything around this way of doing the seat system. As I was already unifying the player and the NPC systems, I decided to unify the seat code as well. The problem with this is that since my old seat system was made so incredibly horribly, I decided it would be more efficient to just completely restart the seat system from the ground up. So that's what I did. I slowly added all the functions from the old seat systems into the unified seat system, configuring it to better work with the humanoid system I made earlier. This took way too long to finish to a functioning state. Instead of spending 2 to 3 days working on this, I ended up spending about 2 to 3 weeks in straight development limbo. If I'm being honest, I feel like this year I have been a bit burnt out on game development, as I've been working on the same project for almost 2 years, and I have also been juggling it with other things in my life, like studying for school. While I was working on improving the humanoid and seat systems, I would often open up the project and just fly around in the Unity editor, putting off working on it. This is probably due to the fact that I felt like I was making no progress, only remaking old systems and not moving forward, which made my dread of working on the project quite counterintuitive if you think about it. I feel like I could have definitely been more productive over these last 3 months, but now, after the main thing I was really dreading is mostly over, I can hopefully get back to making stuff I find cool again. I will start to focus more on the side of game development that I really enjoy, as on multiple occasions, I've found that if I do too much coding on one big go, I just get more burnt out and end up stopping the project, which I do not want to do for this one. The next thing I'm thinking on doing is designing my own map, as copying the exact shape of Perth but just scaled down is way too ambitious for me. I also want to only put detail in some parts of the map like the city, and not a lot in others like the suburbs, having them be smaller, which I can't do by just copying the exact layout of real life Perth. I still have quite a bit of gameplay code to redo, like using A-star pathfinding for my NPCs, which I'll tackle later as I'm absolutely done with messing with NPCs, getting NPC cars to work again, as it was made with the old NPC system, improving the car traction physics, and reworking the wanted system, again. I feel like over these last 2 years, I haven't made much progress on the game, mainly because I've been restarting, rehashing, and redoing a lot of the components within my game, which just ended up causing the game to ship Thesia ties, where each and every part of the game eventually gets replaced. In the process, I was getting more skilled and more experience over time with each redo of the game. Now, I really hope that this time will be the last restart cycle, as in the future I would really like to work on other projects, and I would prefer to get this project done in my lifetime. Anyway, thanks for watching this devlog. Hopefully see you next month.